Hello and welcome. I'm Saeed from StoryPlanet.net. Dive right into the essence of the most captivating books without reading them cover to cover. Whether you're on the go, at the gym, or just relaxing at home, we offer you a unique and enriching listening experience. Today, we are exploring the book In a Sunburned Country, a creation by Bill Bryson. In a Sunburned Country, 2000, is Bill Bryson's first-hand exploration of Australia, covering visits to cities, remote mining towns, and adventures in the vast wilderness. This travel narrative offers rich perspectives on the country's history, culture, and wildlife. Before we delve into these revelations, it's interesting to note that Bill Bryson, a writer of Anglo-American descent, is famous for his humorous and enlightening travel literature. Notable works by Bryson include the highly praised books A Walk in the Woods, 1997, and Notes from a Small Island, 2015. Originally from Des Moines, Iowa, he resided in the UK for an extended period before heading back to the US. Presently, he is located in Hanover, New Hampshire. With 12 key ideas to unveil, brace yourself for a deep dive into this captivating book on StoryPlanet.net. To start, explore the attractions of Australia. Australia is a vast and diverse country with tropical rainforests, deserts, modern cities, and the rugged outback. Bill Bryson's book, In a Sunburned Country, explores Australia's history and attractions through his travel experiences. The book offers fascinating facts, such as the impact of gold rushes and a former Prime Minister's refusal to live in the capital. Key idea number 1. Australia is unique but often overlooked. Australia is a vast country known for its lesser-known events. In 1993, unexplained seismic activity puzzled experts in the Great Victoria Desert, but was never solved. In 1995, a Japanese cult with nuclear engineers was discovered near the site of the seismic activity, raising concerns about secret bomb tests. Australia's vastness allows for covert activities, such as these, to go unnoticed. Additionally, the country's unique biodiversity hosts a large number of native species, with estimates suggesting around 100,000 insect species, including many unknown ones. Key idea number 2. Bryson developed a deep appreciation for Australia's history and size during a train journey. Bryson's journey started in Sydney and continued by train to Perth, covering 2,120 miles across 3 states. He explored the remote outback areas like Broken Hill and White Cliffs, known for their rugged wilderness. White Cliffs, once a booming opal mining town, now has a population of 80 people. Crossing the Nullarbor Plain, which means no tree in Latin, Bryson experienced the vast, desolate landscape stretching for hundreds of miles with minimal vegetation. Key idea number 3. James Cook is frequently credited with discovering Australia, but he was not the first person to arrive on the continent. Aboriginal Australians have been on the continent for 45,000 to 60,000 years. Europeans, including Spanish and Dutch explorers, missed discovering Australia in early voyages. British explorer James Cook officially claimed Australia for Great Britain in 1770, with the contribution of botanist Joseph Banks, who collected many plant specimens. Key idea number 4. Britain began sending prisoners to Australia in the 18th century, but faced challenges along the way. After losing its American colonies in 1783, Britain sent convicts and working-class individuals to build a new colony in Australia. The first fleet arrived in 1787 with around 1,500 convicts in what is now Sydney. Expectations of a lush land were met with a dry and challenging environment. Lack of essential tools and skilled workers made settlement difficult, but eventually a government farm was established in Sydney. Key idea number 5. Sydney has many attractions, but it is embarrassed by its modest beginnings. Bryson explored Sydney, noticing the city's denial of its origins as a prison camp. Despite the lack of monuments, major museums also overlook the city's history with convicts. The city's history has been a source of embarrassment for many Australians. Bryson enjoyed visiting the iconic Harbour Bridge and found Sydney to be a bustling and sunny place with a mix of old-world charm and modernity. Key idea number 6. The gold rushes in the 19th century transformed Australia and played a key role in unifying the nation. Bryson travelled from Sydney to Canberra, Australia's capital, which is a short 180-mile journey through the country's old gold mining hub. The gold rush of the 1850s, initiated by Edward Hargreaves, brought a significant population increase to Australia and changed the nation's perception from a prison colony to a country on the path to nationhood. The discovery of gold led to Australia federating its 6 separate colonies into the Commonwealth of Australia on January 1, 1901. Talks on federation commenced in 1891, culminating in a deal after 10 years. Canberra became the new capital of the Commonwealth of Australia. Key idea number 7. Bryson finds Canberra difficult to reach and not worth the effort. Australia chose Canberra as its new capital due to the difficulty of choosing between prominent cities like Melbourne or Sydney. Canberra was built in the Australian bush on pastoral land in New South Wales, away from the major highways connecting Sydney and Melbourne. Despite growing rapidly, it remains isolated and out of the way. Visitors often find the city deserted with limited dining and entertainment options. Even former Australian Prime Minister John Howard chose to live in Sydney instead of Canberra due to his lack of enthusiasm for the city. Key idea number 8. Bryson explored the Great Barrier Reef during his Australian trip and learned about the dangerous box jellyfish. Bill Bryson explored the desert regions of Australia with his friend Alan Sherwin, starting in Cairns. They learned about the dangers of box jellyfish in Queensland between October and May. Despite this, they also experienced the beauty of the Great Barrier Reef, with its vast size and diverse marine life, attracting millions of tourists annually. Bryson opted for a semi-submersible boat to observe the reef's inhabitants, which included various fish, corals, and even a turtle. Key idea number 9. Darwin is described as dull, but the vast emptiness of the Northern Territory compensates for it. Bryson and Sherwin explored the Northern Territory, a vast region confirmed as a territory by a 1998 referendum. Despite a chance to become Australia's 7th state, the locals, called Territorians, preferred to remain outsiders. The Northern Territory covers a significant portion of Australia's landmass. Their first stop was the capital, Darwin, but it didn't meet their expectations due to its challenging history, including bombings and cyclones. They later travelled 919 miles through the desert to the town of Alice Springs, following the Stuart Highway, named after explorer John McDowell Stuart. The region's harshness, lack of water, and vegetation posed challenges to early explorers, as recounted in Stuart's companion's memoirs. Key idea number 10. Alice Springs is vibrant, while Uluru is an impressive site nearby. Bryson and Sherwin took a 2-day trip to Alice Springs, a vibrant town in the middle of Australia. Originally a small settlement, it has grown to 25,000 residents and attracts 350,000 tourists annually. The town offers amenities like hotels, malls, and fast food outlets. A must-see attraction nearby is Uluru, the world's largest monolith, which is over 300 miles southwest of Alice Springs. Despite limited time due to booked hotels, the travelers found the massive rock impressive and the journey worthwhile. Key idea number 11. Australia's treatment of its Aboriginal people in the past has been negative and harmful, with lasting consequences. In Alice Springs, Bryson observed a social divide between white Australians and Aboriginal people, with significant disparities in health and well-being. Aboriginal Australians face disproportionately worse rates of suicide, unemployment, imprisonment, and childhood mortality compared to the general population. The average life expectancy of Aboriginal Australians is 20 years shorter than that of white Australians, reflecting deep inequality. The historical forced removal of Aboriginal children from their families, known as the Stolen Generation, contributed to these issues by causing long-lasting trauma and disconnection from their communities. The policy led to devastating consequences, such as increased alcoholism, suicide rates, and a lack of belonging or integration for the stolen children, impacting their lives and well-being significantly. Key idea number 12. Perth is a wonderful city with a park and botanical garden showcasing Australia's natural abundance. Bryson concluded his journey in Western Australia, finding it remote yet charming. He appreciated the unique wildlife in Kings Park. Australia's diverse flora is due to factors like poor soil quality and isolation. Australia's long-term isolation has allowed its wildlife to prosper as species developed independently. The country's diverse and specialized plant life thrives due to its ability to adapt to challenging conditions. This experience reinforced Bryson's belief that Australia is truly a unique place. In conclusion, Australia is a diverse country with beautiful landscapes but a troubling past regarding its treatment of indigenous people. Visitors are advised to be cautious of picking up shells on the beach, as they might belong to venomous cone snails. Feedback on the content is encouraged. A suggested further reading is Notes from a Small Island by Bill Bryson, a travelogue about the author's farewell tour of Great Britain. Thank you for listening to this summary. If you enjoyed this exploration, we invite you to discover other fascinating books on storyplanet.net. Don't wait any longer. A multitude of books, stories, and knowledge await you there. See you soon on storyplanet.net.